Welcome back to another episode of To the Moon, and I am super excited about our next guest. Adam has been an incredible asset to the Astroflipping community, and just one of those people that came in and took massive action and got it done. And I'm just thrilled that we get to have you on this podcast, Adam, because I feel like we've come full circle in your journey, and there's just so much that you've been adding to it. And I don't want to take away from your thunder, but what I do want to say, guys, is make sure you watch this video right up until the end, because Adam is going to give you information and ways that you can work with him. And that would be an incredible honor for you to be able to do, because he's learned a lot, he's doing a lot, and he's going places. Adam, welcome to the show, bro.
Thank you. Appreciate it very much.
So tell us a little bit about you. Where are you from? How did you find this crazy niche of wholesale real estate? Why did you choose to work with a guy who dresses up like a genie? What's happening? What happened?
My story is not going to be much different than a lot of people's, which I think is cool. I think people are going to resonate with it. But I'm from Fort Collins, Colorado, born and raised. And just kind of went down the Front Range to Colorado Springs, where I call home now. So still kind of a Front Range vibe. Awesome kind of market down there. Lived here for 13, 14 years, wife and 3 kids. So Colorado's kind of where I call home.
Awesome. And what was your career? Like, what have you been doing up before you became awesome at real estate? What was your pedigree?
Yeah, so I was one of those guys that had kind of every single job you could ever imagine. Never intended on skipping around, but kind of became that person.
Yeah.
And was just trying everything, trying to figure out what is for me, and kind of got into startup businesses and was doing a lot of stuff kind of like in the outdoor industry, and thought, well, maybe startup industry is kind of for me. And it was all sales related type stuff. And then after watching some of those crash and burn and this and that, it was always back to plan B, selling something you don't love, or what does that look like? And I had a friend say, hey, I know a guy who might be looking for someone to help him in his real estate business. And I don't remember how he described it, but I just remember thinking, does the guy want me to canvas and knock doors? That's what this sounds like. I'm way past that. I got kids and I can't be going and knocking doors. That's what I thought it was. Turns out it was kind of a lot like that. So I kind of got started learning what wholesaling was by just taking a leap into, working for another wholesaler kind of guy. And that was kind of my start. That lasted really short. Basically wasn't a good fit for a lot of reasons. I was probably only with them for about 3 months or something like that. And that's when I started listening to some podcasts, trying to get more of that education that drew me into real estate in the first place that I was getting when I first started. And I was like, I need more. I got questions. I need answers. And it was the Maxwell podcast that I heard him interview you on. How many people have joined Astro because of that podcast?
I could say hundreds probably.
Yeah.
I owe a lot to Maxwell when it comes to putting me on the map, in all honesty. And nobody knew me really until Brent Daniels and Maxwell kind of put me out there. And Steve Trang as well. Like those three podcasts, but Max's on, overwhelmingly in terms of numbers, really did a lot for me.
Yeah. I didn't even know really who Maxwell was or anybody. I was brand new to the wholesale, real estate game. But that was the first podcast that I heard, probably for SEO reasons or something. And it wasn't, many podcasts in, I heard you. And what really connected the dots for me is I realized what I was kind of learning for a foundation in wholesale was a lot of old school type ways that people were marketing. I literally was the grunt and didn't know better. And I was going out and putting bandit signs in people's lawns. I was doing all the things that you joke about and do videos on. That is what I was basically being taught. And when you said there was another way, I was like, maybe I don't have this great foundation like I hoped. And so I was like, I know I'm going out on my own. And I wasn't planning on doing a mentorship. In fact, I have a hard time spending money on things like that I don't think I need. But I
Right.
was like, going out and starting my own business totally on my own, it might be nice to have a place to kind of connect. Little did I know it was not just a little place to connect. It was a whole family, community, and there's no way I'd be where I'm at without making that leap to join you. So I'm very indebted to you and appreciate what you have built. This is my home. This is my family.
It's amazing, and I can feel that from you because when you're on our coaching calls and when you communicate with people in the group, you're so genuine about how you feel and how you feel about the family and how much you want to support new people that are coming in and helping them have faith because when you first got in it you were literally, it felt like you were starting from scratch, even though you had done some door knocking and you had learned, you had a little bit of a base, which is fantastic. I feel like you paid some dues in that, and that's wonderful that you did that. It's great to be out in the world and like working hard towards something and not really get anywhere with it because it tests your resolve, right? It tests your resolve to see, are you truly wanting this? Is this something that you're willing to fight for? Are you willing to scrape yourself? Are you willing to be uncomfortable? Are you willing to do things that you think are beyond you, like door knock when you have a family? Like, are you willing to be that guy that has to like do the grunt work? And you are, right? And so you join Astroflipping, and I was very cognizant of the fact that you had a lot to learn, right? And so we basically began at the basics with you, and it took some time, right? And I remember that you would come into a call and you were working things out and trying to understand the mechanics of what you had to do every single day to get some success. And it took a minute. So let's talk a little bit about that, because this isn't all just roses and unicorns and rainbows. This is real, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about your training and the gladiator days when it was harder.
Yeah, no, that's kind of my favorite part of the story. I'm proud of it, and I learned so much from it. And while it's the scariest part for me and my journey, and probably for a lot of other people, it's just where the most growth happened. So when I went and started my own business, which the day that I started was November 1st, 2020, so just over a year ago. I had never dispoed a single deal. I had never messed with any of that. It was all, basically 3 months crash course of acquisitions the old school way, like I said. So when I was learning kind of the micro flip strategy, I was brand new, like you said. I was scared. I didn't know much about the process. When it came to title companies or working with buyers, I was essentially brand new all over again. But here I am in business for myself, proclaiming to my family and everyone that I'm going to make it work some way, somehow. I guess the little bit of belief that kept me encouraged in the beginning was I had seen a deal sell from my previous job. So I was like, well, if I can close deals over there, surely I can do it for myself. Even if I'm doing a fraction of what I was doing there without somebody else's money, I can make this for myself. It could be rice and beans for a little bit, but we'll figure it out. And so I got right after it. I heard all the success stories, closing your first deal in a week or within 30 days. And I thought, that's kind of my goal. We're going to get a deal within our first 30 days. We're just going to go as hard as we possibly can. And it didn't happen. And so I was like, we're going to get it in the next 30 days. It's going to happen. And it didn't.
Yeah.
So
you got close and things would fall apart.
I was getting close, and I was totally committed to not, freaking out and trying some other marketing or anything like that. I was going to do it the way that I signed up for through your course. So November, December, there was no deals. I was getting close. I'm like, I know the next one, it's right around the corner. Sure enough, in January, I think I got 3 deals. So my first one was in January, and then there was 2 right behind it. And then I was like, I had the aha moment. I'm like, well, it was because my pipeline wasn't fully built. That's all that it was. So the work was in there. The hours were in there. When I left, I went full time into this. And I think that's a pretty average, natural timeline that people can expect. And it's not like you don't say it or we don't hear it a million times, but I had forgotten that it can take 30, 60, 90 days to build a pipeline, really 90 days.
I think 90 days, everybody has to have that in their heads, right?
Yeah.
Do people get a deal in the first 3 weeks? Yes. Do people get a deal in their first week? Yes.
Yeah.
Is that normal? No. No, right. It's not normal. What's normal is like 90 days of toil and building a pipeline and creating relationships and making your waves is how this is going to work. This is sustained. We need a sustainable, real business, not a lucky hit.
Right. And it's not 90 days of failing.
Right.
It's 90 days of you're actually building. I forgot all about that until it started happening for me. January of 2021 this year, that's when things started to click. And I've done deals solo without any VAs or anything like that. I don't have any team yet, looking to scale, but it's been just me for this year and kind of grinding it out.
How has it looked? So, January was 3. What has it kind of been the cadence for you month after month?
It's kind of like little waves a little bit still right now. It'll be 1 deal, 3 deals, 2 deals, 4 deals. So it's averaging, to be 2 or 3 deals a month.
Awesome. And that brings it home like what, 20 grand or so ish?
Yep. Yeah. So on the
incredible.
The year's not over, but I'm just at over 150,000 for the year and sitting at about 23 deals.
Bro, that is so great.
Yeah.
That is so great. And like in your previous work, that kind of money really wasn't, you couldn't get to it, right?
No, this is the most that I've made.
Amazing. Yeah. And now, as you know, for people that are tuning in, you're going to recognize that hat that Adam's wearing. It's the Sub 2 logo. So Adam is a wonderful member of the Astro family, and we have a very close-knit relationship with the Sub 2 community. Pace Morby, my best friend and collaborator and competitor. And we are, and co-star on a TV show. Like Pace is my brother and all of the things, right? Like he's my greatest competitor and my best friend and my greatest brother, and we do everything we can together. And you're in Sub 2 now, learning how to do creative finance and add that repertoire to your current deal flow. And let's talk a little bit about that. Yeah.
I felt like I just wanted one more tool in my belt. It was I didn't really want to do another mentorship, honestly, but seeing how you guys were so closely affiliated, it felt more like, a necessary move to make. And I had some deals that had come through and was able to say, let's go ahead and sign up and get the learning process going. It'll only help me. It's the direction that I want to go, to be able to help people more. And I felt like that was just something that I was just interested in doing. So I'm kind of like a baby all over again in that mentorship. But I really don't, in some ways, feel like it's any different than Astro. They kind of feel like one and the same to me, with how well you guys are connected. It's just a little deeper level of content when it comes to the creative side of things.
Right. And I don't do creative deals. And so I'm a wholesaler by bloodline, this is what I love. And I enjoy the in and out. I'm allergic to holding houses. You know what I mean? Like I want to be in and out of these things. Fixing and flipping is really as hands-on I'll get with holding on to property. At the same time, I watch my brother Pace accumulate these rentals using creative strategies, and quite often can buy houses for nothing and turn that into infinite cash flow, which is an incredible strategy. And I'm so happy that you're learning it, because a lot of guys that are in the Astro program can find great utility plugging into yourself and other Sub 2 students that are a part of Astro as well, so that you can bridge the gap between, the two communities and bring and funnel deal flow both ways in both directions. And so that's incredible. And so you've done 23 deals, right? Was it 23 deals in the year?
Yeah, I think we'll finish with 25. I got one that closes tomorrow and another one that's getting close. So right around there.
So 25 deals for the year, which, honestly, that's really good. That's an incredible for somebody that's just new, like that was just brand new coming into it. And how much money have you spent in marketing?
0.
So you have no marketing overhead. All your deals are, I mean, other than like what you spend for like internet and things like that.
Yeah.
Do you have expenses?
I have batch dialer and deal machine. That's it.
And of course the dialer so that you can dial at a more efficient way. And deal machine is amazing for being out there and driving for dollars and creating more niche lists. And I think that'll be very helpful for you in the creative side, because you can pull pre-foreclosures and go on and door knock those.
Yeah. And for me, I'm over the last year, I've been changing the focus a lot, not to be like on a lot of different rabbit trails, but just where do you spend how much time doing what? And having a little, we've talked about this a lot, but having the ability to be direct to seller a little bit for me has always been important, just because I want to be someone who is capable of taking something from start to finish. For whatever reason, maybe it's pride, I don't know what it is, but I just want to be able to do that. I do like the adventure and the journey of sitting in Betty's living room when she's chain smoking and hearing her life story too. There's something about that, but I think
it's romantic in a way. Yeah. It's sexy.
Yeah, if you
Betty's sexy.
She is all the time, every time. But yeah, if you can take a deal from, a door knock or a cold call and just, close that from start to finish, it just feels good to be able to know how to do that. And I don't want to lose touch on how to do that throughout my career, even though I don't think that's mostly how I'm going to do this business. And that's where I'm saying I'm altering things. I'm doing a lot more. I probably do most of my stuff with realtors, honestly, than anything. But, when you get that appointment and you're going to that house, and it's just you, there's no better way than to utilize your time in a neighborhood than to drive around a little bit and have the ability to make a couple of lists. So that's what I do. I'm not, trying to create 500 contacts or anything like that on Deal Machine each week. That's not what I'm trying to do. It's more of a in and around appointments, or when you're on vacation, you're just curious, let's go ahead and add a few and things like that.
It's fun. It's fun and it's exciting, and it gives you another thing to be interested in and work on that's a bolt on to your natural business anyways, right? Like I love tinkering with stuff and new ways to make money, even though I make a lot of money and I can't spend the money I make. I'm always naturally interested in like new things, right? I for instance, my 16-year-old had her 16th birthday a few days ago, and there was a guy here who had this mirror and he had this photo booth that he brought over to our house. And, we paid him $1,000 for like 3 hours. And it was a printer, a mirror, and in the mirror was a camera. Right. And it was like, that was it. And we paid him $1,000 and, the kids loved it. And he's booked all the time. And I'm like, wow, what an incredible, cool thing. Now, would I ever do that as a business? Hell no. Right. But I loved that. I loved just the entrepreneurship of it. I loved that it was like such a neat thing that you can do this to make money, or you can do this to make money. And so it's great to have Deal Machine in your phone, that when you're out in the world and you see a crappy house, you can, put that thing in the app and download the number and have a conversation with somebody, like that. Like there's nothing better than that. And like you said, if you're on vacation and you got some free time, why not?
Yeah. You hear those stories of people that are just kind of always finding deals. Well, how are they finding deals? Or growing up, me and my brother I can remember this like almost vividly, driving with my parents, and my parents would say, I wonder what they're building over there. It'd be, some new mall or whatever it is. And we used to think, well, somebody is. Who is it? Why is it this giant mystery? I think that's how you kind of become a part of those conversations, is, you get to know people, you get to call them, you get to see what they're building, what's going on over there. And it's no longer a mystery. So I like to be on the inside of those conversations, and just kind of calling those random houses or properties is a way to do that. And these tools help us do that.
That's awesome. So what does the family think of what you've been up to? I mean, that was probably a little bit interesting for them when you left work and you were home all the time and doing this, and you might have said to them, hey, we might have to eat rice and beans for a couple of months. What did that whole thing look like? Because, it's, how old are you, Adam, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 36.
You're 36. So I'm in my early 40s. So we're closer in age than some of the people that I mentor as well, like I get a lot of young folks that are in this, but you're like in that, you're in your mid 30s, and so and you've got children and a spouse and all that, so like we kind of resonate there. How did that go, and what's it look like from where it was, and what does it look like now? Because there's going to be family people out there who are going to watch this, and they're going to be going through the same thing, and they're going to want to know, how did you deal with that? What was, the conversation like?
Yeah, my wife has been super supportive. First off, she is one of those that says I could be great at anything, on and on and on. So she really had no issues with me doing it. She supported me, but she's got her own business. She's a life coach, and it wants kind of nothing to do with real estate. She's very focused on what she works on with that stuff. So I had all the support in the world, and from her. And then the kids, they're 9 and 7 and 2. They don't know much of what's going on. They say I work a lot, but they don't feel the effects of a lot of things. I try to remind them, like, I actually have it better now with what I'm doing now and the freedom with my time than I did when I worked at the other jobs. I actually try to talk with them about that, because sometimes they say, you're on the phone all the time, or you work too much. And I'm like, not like it, it is when you're working at a car dealership or wherever, like, this is pretty good. We have it pretty nice. But I also drag them around to houses from time to time, and I'm careful not to do it too much, because I don't want to burn them out, because I want them to at least know how to do this to a degree someday. So yeah, I actually take them to properties and make them meet people and teach them how to, like, shake hands and look people in the eye. So I think it's a good sort of, thing for them to kind of go through, actually. So they're kind of in it.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. I mean, I've got 2 girls, 12 and 16, and my 16-year-old, I haven't been able to convince her to come out on appointments. My 12-year-old, she said, "You know what, Dad, I'm going to pass on real estate, but I have a feeling that one day you might want a plane." So she just became an air cadet. Her goal is to become Dad's pilot.
Cool. Cool.
That's super neat. And Charisma, if you're watching this, let's go.
Let's go.
Adam, you are such an incredible guy. And I loved, last week you came into the group and you just shared with everybody what your year journey has been. And you inspired people that were just getting in to stay the course and to eat the frog, do the hard thing, and to believe in themselves. And you are a refreshing and wonderful example of what that can look like. And I know that there's going to be people out there that are going to want to work with you, because you have a fantastic personality. You're easy to get along with. You know what you're doing, and you're looking for growth and expansion. So how can people find you and work with you?
Yeah. On all the different social medias with Instagram and Facebook. So you can look me up there. You're more than welcome to reach out to me via text or call me, however you guys like to communicate. I'm kind of a phone person. I think that's helped me kind of in business too. While people are constantly trying to use all the different forms of technology to communicate, they work. But maybe it's just personality based, but I like to get on the phone with people. So call me. If I don't answer, I'll call you right back. So there's something about getting on the phone that I like to do, whether it's with my buyers or anyone who's got questions. So hit me up, text me, call me, whatever you'd like to do. I can give you my number if you'd like now.
Let's go.
All right. It's 719-472-4961. That's 719-472-4961.
Amazing. Amazing. Adam, any parting words that you've got for people?
Oh, this business is super fun. It's got its highs and lows. Hang in there, kind of stay the course. Don't get discouraged. This is a community that will pick you up. It will also challenge you. So you're in the right place if you're listening to these podcasts, or if you're in with Jamil. So just go have fun. If you've got a bad day, shake it off and go on to the next one, as you say.
Adam, you're an amazing gentleman, and you're going places. We'll see you on the moon, brother.
Appreciate it, man.